everybody. Here we are one last time. We are almost finished the book, The One and Only Ivan. And so today have a few vocabulary words to go through. The first one is the word inferior. A synonym is sort of, it means it's less, something that's less than something else. It has less value or importance. It's inferior. The next word is entwine, to twist or coil together. And the next one in the book, it's savoring. The root word of savoring is savor, with the ing being what's called the suffix that comes at the end of the word. And it means to have a particular, in this case, it has a few meanings, but here it's to have a particular taste or smell. I enjoy savoring the taste of chocolate. Okay, so here we go. I know you can't see that very well behind you, but all right, this is it. We're coming to the end, so we know that Ivan's in the zoo. We assume that Ruby's in the zoo as well, along with the other animals that were all taken away from the mall. All right. And we know, okay, so where we left off yesterday, we know that Maya, who is I don't know, she works at the zoo. She must be, I don't know, works with a number of different animals maybe, or maybe in particular just gorillas, but we know that he has been in an enclosure within the zoo, and doesn't really know, and is watching this TV screen with these, looking at other gorillas. And now we know, there must have been a curtain, and they've taken away the curtain, and now Ivan can see the other gorillas. And so he is a little bit more curious, and they sort of left that curtain open, but it sounds like there was a glass partition or maybe between them. And now they've opened a door for him to be able to go from his enclosure to meet the other gorillas. So we'll see if he goes to meet the other gorillas. Although, based on what was said last time, so want to try again, Ivan? Maya asks. I think a ruby, and I tell myself it's time. The door opens. Outside at last. Sky, grass, tree, ant, stick, bird, dirt, cloud, wind, flower, rock, rain, mine. I'm going to show you how Katherine Applegate, the author, how she writes that. It's on this page right here. Pretty interesting. The way he's just listing all the things that he sees and probably hears and smells. Oops. I sniff, approach, strut a bit, but the others don't welcome me. They have sharp teeth and loud voices. Did I do something wrong? Kenyani chases me. She throws a stick at me. She corners me. I know she's just testing me to see if I'm a true silverback, one who can protect her family. I cower, and hide my eyes. Maya lets me back into my cage. What it was like. I lie awake and try to remember what it was like being a gorilla. How did we move? How did we touch? How did we know who was boss? I try to think past the babies and the motorbikes and the popcorn and the short pants. I try to imagine Ivan as he might have been. Pretending. The juvenile male approaches. He's eyeing my food hungrily. I imagine a different Ivan, my father's son. I grumble and swagger and swat and swagger. I beat my chest until the whole world hears. Kenyani watches, and so do the others. I move toward the young upstart, and he retreats, almost as if he believes I'm the silverback I'm pretending to be. Nest. I'm making a nest on the ground. It isn't a true jungle nest. The leaves are inferior and the sticks are brittle. The leaves are inferior. Remember, inferior has less value or importance. They're not very good, second-rate leaves. They snap when I weave them into place. The others watch, grunting their disapproval. Too small, too flimsy, an ugly thing to see. But when I climb into that leafy cradle, it's like floating on treetop mist. More TV. Maya wants me to go back to my glass cage. I can tell because she is tempting me toward the door with a trail of tiny marshmallows. I try to ignore her. I don't want to leave the outside. It's a cloudless day, and I found just the right spot for a nap. But I relent when she adds yogurt raisins to the trail. She knows my weaknesses all too well. In the glass cage, the TV is on. It's another nature show, jerky and unfocused. I expect to see gorillas, but none appear. I hear a shrill sound like a toy trumpet. My heart quickens. I rush close to the screen, and there she is, Ruby. She's rolling in a lovely pool of mud with two other young elephants. Another elephant approaches. She towers over Ruby. She strokes Ruby, nudges her. She makes soft noises. They stand side by side, just the way Stella and Ruby used to. Their trunks entwine. Remember, entwine is to twist or coil together, so their trunks are twisted together. I see something new in Ruby's eyes, and I know what it is. It's joy. I watch the whole thing, and then Maya plays it again for me, and again. At last she turns off the TV and carries it out of the cage. I put my hand to the glass. Maya looks over. Thank you, I try to say with my eyes. Thank you. Kenyani ambles toward me. She taps me on the shoulder, and knuckle runs away. I watch her, arms crossed over my chest. I'm careful not to make a sound. I'm not sure what we're doing. She ambles back, shoves at me, dashes past, and then I realize what's happening. We're playing. We're playing tag, and I'm it. Romance. Make eye contact. Show your form. Strut. Grunt. Throw a stick. Grunt some more. Make some moves. Romance is hard. It looks so easy on TV. I'm not sure I will ever get the hang of it. More about romance. I wish Bob were here. I could use some advice. I tried to recall all the romance movies we watched together. I remember the talking, the hugging, the face licking. I'm not very good at this, but it's fun trying. Grooming. Is there anything sweeter than the touch of another as she pulls a dead bug from your fur? Talk. Gorillas aren't chatty like humans, prone to gossip and bad jokes. But now and again, we swap a story under the sun. One day it's my turn. I tell my troop about Mac and Ruby and Bob and Stella and George and Julia, but about my mother and father and sister. When I'm done, they look away, silent. Kenyani moves closer. Her shoulder brushes mine, and we let the sun soak into our fur together. The top of the hill. I've explored every nook and cranny of this place except for a hill at the far end where workers have been repairing a wall. They're finally gone. They've left behind fresh white brick and a mound of black dirt. While the others laze in the morning sun, I want to explore the hilltop. They've been there before, and I have not. Everything is still fresh to my eyes. I take my time going uphill, savoring the feel of grass on my knuckles. The breeze carries the shouts of children and the drowsy hum of bumblebees. Near the top of the hill is a low-limbed tree, the kind my sister would have loved. The wall is endless, clean and white, stretching far down to the habitats beyond my own. It's high and wide, carefully built to keep us in and others out. This is, after all, still a cage. It rained last night and the pile of dirt is soft to the touch. I scoop up a handful and breathe in the loamy smell. It's a rich brown color, heavy and cool in my palm. And the wall waits like an endless blank billboard. The wall. It's a big wall, but it's a big pile of dirt and I'm a big artist. I slap handfuls of mud on the warm cement. I make a handprint. I tap my nose with a muddy finger. I make a nose print. I slide my palms up and down. The mud is thick and hard to use, but I keep moving and scooping and spreading. I don't know what I'm making and I don't care. I make swoops and swirls and thick lines, figures and shapes, light and shadow. I, an artist at work. When I'm done, I step back to admire my work, but it's a large canvas and I'd like to get a better view. I go to the thick-limbed tree and grab the lowest branch. I try to swing my legs. Ugh, I land hard. I'm too big to climb, I suppose. I try again, and this time I pull myself onto the first limb, gasping for breath. One more limb, two, and I can't go any farther. Perched halfway up the tree, I see my troop still dozing contentedly. I take in the wall, splattered and splashed with mud. Not much color, but lots of movement. I like it. It feels dreamy and wild, like something Julia might have made. From my seat in the tree, I can see beyond the wall. I see giraffes and hippos. I see deer with legs like delicate twigs. I see a bear snoozing in a hollow log. I see elephants. Safe. She's far away, belly deep in tall grass with others by her side. Ruby. She's here, Stella, I whisper. Ruby's safe, just like I promised. I call to Ruby, but the wind tugs at my words, and I know she'll never hear me. Still, Ruby pauses for a second, her ears spread wide like tiny sails. Then, with lumbering grace, she moves on through the grass. Silverback. It's a cloudy evening, chilly and drizzly. Dinner is on its way, but I don't care. At night we sleep in our den, but I'm always the last to head inside. I've been inside long enough. This time of day, there aren't many visitors, just a few stragglers leaning on the wall that separates us. They point, they take a couple photos, they head over to the nearby giraffes. One of the keepers is beckoning. Reluctantly, I turn to go. Out of the corner of my eye, I see someone running. I pause. It's a girl with dark hair, lugging a backpack. A man follows behind, racing to catch up. Ivan! The girl yells. Ivan! It's Julia. I scramble to the edge of the wide moat that skirts the wall. Julia and George wave to me, and I dash back and forth, hooting and grunting, doing a gorilla dance of happiness. Calm down, says a voice. You're behaving like a chimp. I freeze. A tiny, nut brown, big-eared head pops out of Julia's backpack. Nice place, Bob says. Bob, I say. It's really you? In the flesh. How? Where? I can't seem to find any words. George's job at the zoo doesn't start till next month. So he and Julia made an arrangement. She's walking 3 extra dogs to cover my food. And get this, they're all poodles. You said you didn't want a home, I say. Yeah, Bob says. But Julia's mom likes my company, so I figure I'm doing everybody a favor. It's a win-win. Julia pushes Bob's head back inside her backpack. Remember, you're not supposed to be here, she reminds him. Ivan looks great. Doesn't he, Jules? George asks. Stronger, happier even. Julia holds up a little photo, but it's too far away for me to see. It's Ruby, Ivan. She's with the other elephants now. Because of you? I know. I want to tell her. I saw with my own eyes. We stare across the expanse that separates us. After a while, George pats Julia's arm. Time to go, Jules. Julia gives a wistful smile. Bye, Evan. Say hello to your new family. She turns to George. Thank you, Dad. For what? She gestures toward me. For this. They turn to leave. The lamps that light the zoo pathways blink on, blanketing the world with yellow light. I can just make out Bob's little head sticking out of Julia's backpack. You're the one and only Ivan, he calls. I nod, then turn toward my family, my life, my home. Mighty Silverback, I whisper. The end. We came to the end. What an amazing book that was. It was so full of emotions. It was so sad. And then how happy of an ending is this? Not that he didn't have, I feel like Ivan's life wasn't horrible at the mall, but now, I don't know if a zoo isn't the jungle, but it's probably a lot better than it was in one cage in the mall. So that's the end of that. I'm gonna have to try to find another novel to read. If you have any suggestions, you can make a comment below. If there's something that you think would be a good book to read, and I'll try to get it. Or I will spend some time trying to find a new book for Monday, so we can start. Another installment of a new novel. Take care. Have a great weekend. It is Friday, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend. Get outside. I'm gonna do some gardening, hopefully. But we'll see you hopefully next week.